Alrighty, good everybody, it's the doggy! It's time for another showcase video. This time we're showing off my collection of Beatles singles and EPs. And a couple of albums that were not shown in the previous showcase video. Okay, let's start from the beginning of my collection. This is a UK copy of From Me to You. And Thank You Girl, that's the B-side, of course. And most of these are Australian copies. I do have a couple of UK singles as well. I don't have a copy of Please Please Me, unfortunately, only the album. So we've got the Australian version of From Me to You. And the same B-side, Thank You Girl. Okay, next one in my collection is, of course, She Loves You, one of my favourite songs of all time, and I'll Get You on the B-side. And up next is, this is another UK copy, complete with the infamous green parlophone inner sleeve, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and This Boy. Sorry, it's not the Fran the Fan sleeve, of course, so this might be probably from 63, 64. I have absolutely no idea right now. I do have an Australian copy as well. I think this is a 1970s reissue of this one, I believe. Rare orange 1970s reissue of the Australian I Want to Hold Your Hand single with the same B-side, of course. Okay, the next Australian single, which was actually the first UK single, is Love Me Do. And over here we got a different B-side for it. From the Please Please Me album, we got I Saw Her Standing There, which is another killer Beatles song. Just love the intro. The lyrics are a little bit, what the... Okay, the next Australian single, I believe, in my collection is the band's cover of Chuck Berry's Roll Over Beethoven, sung by George Harrison, of course. Very, very good recording, actually. Still not as good as Chuck Berry's original, of course. And Hold Me Tight was the B-side. And the next one is A Hard Day's Night. And the same B-side, Things We Said Today. Okay, next one in my collection. Another Beatles classic, I Feel Fine. And She's a Woman. Okay, another Australian-only single, I believe. I think this may have been single elsewhere. It's another song from the Hard Day's Night album, I Should Have Known Better. And the B-side, If I Fell. Okay, I have two copies of the next one. This is another UK copy. We Can Work It Out. Oops, accidentally dropped it. And Day Tripper, of course. That's my favourite Beatles song of all time, actually. Always loved the riff in that one. Even if the lyrics are a bit silly at times, but they're still very good songs. And is the Australian pressing that I have of this one. We Can Work It Out. And Day Tripper. Okay. Another Australian-only single. We have from Rubber Soul, I believe. Nowhere Man. And Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown. Another good Beatles song, that one. Nowhere Man is also very good. And next one in my collection, this time from Revolver, Yellow Submarine, and Eleanor Rigby. Continuing on, we have this is Hello Goodbye, and I Am the Walrus. Okay, those are all the Parlophone singles I have from that particular period. Now we move on to more of the Apple ones. This next one from the White Album, not released as a single in the UK. Obla Dee, Obla Da, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Okay. Next one in my collection. The Ballad of John and Yoko. And Old Brown Shoe. Another great combination for a great single. And next up is probably my favourite George Harrison Beatles song, Something, from Abbey Road and Come Together. Although I do like Here Comes the Sun, I personally prefer Something over it. Especially during the middle bit where we get the I don't know bit. Okay, now we've got the Let It Be Picture Sleeve single with the B-side, You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. Let's pull the record out to show it. Let It Be, this side. Another iconic Beatles song. And B-side, which I've not really listened to be honest. Don't really play these, I just sort of keep them in a collection. And the last of the Australian singles during that period is, of course, The Long and Winding Road and For You Blue from the Let It Be album. Okay, those were all the singles that were issued during the time that they were together. Got a few others here. I think this is from the Rock and Roll Music single issued around 1976. Got to Get You Into My Life. And, of course, Helter Skelter. Good track from the White Album, that one. Personally, it's another one of my top favourites. And one of the 1970s post-release, post-breakup singles, Yesterday. And of course it has I Should Have Known Better on the opposite side. Bit of an odd choice, really. Okay, the last single in my collection is the Beatles movie medley, which I'm guessing has been disowned by the band now. You don't hear McCartney and you don't hear Ringo talk about it all that much. And its B-side is, of course, from the Hard Day's Night album, I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. Sorry about the blurry, it's just things are a little unstable at the moment. I accidentally broke the stand that the iPad case normally has just recently. So I've had to improvise with a box behind the iPad so it's stable as I can get it. Now I move on to the EPs. First up is the Twist and Shout EP. This is from 63, 64, I don't know. I'm a dumbo, I don't know nothing. I mean, these are pretty much all tracks from Please Please Me anyway. Okay, next one is the Beatles hits. Not seeing very many of this one around. The B-side, again, most of the early stuff. Let's pull out the actual copy itself. The Beatles hits, side 1. And the Beatles hits side 2. Okay. On to the next one now. The Beatles number 1. Another Australian EP. Again, mostly consisting of songs from Please Please Me. Jeez, I am clumsy today. Got the actual... Okay, side 1. And side 2. Right. Next one. Another picture sleeve requests. I think this is from around 63, 64, maybe. Again, maybe a bit later, maybe 65. Again, mostly tracks from the early days. We've got the actual record itself. Side 1. And side 2. Excellent. On to the next one now. Oops, I grabbed 2 at the same time. This one is non-picture sleeve. More requests. Seems to be the other half of the Long Tall Sally EP, because I think the first half was on the requests one, so yeah. A couple of tracks again from With the Beatles on the opposite side. Till There Was You, I Want to Be Your Man. Interesting choices. And then we get a few from further requests. A couple of singles there mentioned there. She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And side 2 has Roll Over Beethoven and Can't Buy Me Love, which is from the Hard Day's Night album. Interesting choices, actually. Hang on, I may have screwed up here. Oops, that's going to fall. What am I doing? Sorry about this, people. I'm just making multiple screw-ups at the same time. Okay, on to... No, you're going to fall? What are you going to do? Okay. Okay, next one is... Beatles for Sale number 2. I think this is probably the same as the UK one. I do know this was a UK EP as well. Bit of a rare instance of seeing a 7-inch inside a plastic sleeve. And there it is. Okay. And the next EP in my collection is Yesterday. And this one's also got a protective inner sleeve. I think this might be a slightly later issue. I'm not so sure. Okay, on to the next EP in my collection. I think this is another Australian one. Help! As the font there is similar to the US version of the soundtrack. Funny how they stick at least 2 tracks from the Help album, as well as what I think was the current single at the time, I Feel Fine and She's a Woman. And this one also seems to come with a inner sleeve. I think this might be a late 60s or 70s reissue, I have no idea. Okay. Okay, now I have two copies of the next one, but one is mono and one is stereo, and this I'm referring to is the Magical Mystery Tour EP. I don't have the proper packaging for the mono version, so they're in separate sleeves. So this is the first disc of the mono version of Magical Mystery Tour, and that's the second side. And this is side 3. And side 4. Okay, I do have the proper packaging for the stereo version, although it is a bit squished up here. Anyway, this is the stereo version. You can see down here it has SMMT1 and stereo underneath, so that's how you can tell that's the stereo version. And I'm sure many of you have seen the inside with the booklet and stuff, so I'm not even going to show that. I'll just show the records themselves. So, side 1, as you can see, it actually has a stereo indicator on it. And stereo side 2. Careful. Careful, careful. Side 3. And side 4. Okay, that is those two. Two more EPs to go. This, I believe, was the last of the Australian EPs issued during the time. Penny Lane. So here's the track listing and stuff. Bit of an odd choice. Trying to combine both the Penny Lane and the Yellow Submarine singles onto one EP. But I guess EMI Australia were trying to do anything for a cash grab, especially during that particular period. Alright, that just leaves one more. You may have seen a copy of this in my previous Beatles video showcase, but this is a second copy of the EP that comes as a bonus with the Australian compilation known as the Number Ones. So it basically sticks 3 songs onto one extra single, so it has Love Me Do and I Feel Fine and Rock and Roll Music. Alright, that is the singles and EPs over and done with. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to show you some of the LPs that were not shown off in the previous video, because I decided to mostly dedicate that to the official releases. This is what we have here is the David Wigg Interviews double LP set. This has a booklet inside, so it might be a bit difficult to show it. Anyway, that's at least a look at the partially the inside cover, and I'm not seeing very many collectors actually possess this, or at least in the collections that I've seen online, at least here on YouTube, but it doesn't matter really. Let's at least show off the LPs. They're on the Polydor label, I notice. So yes, side 1 is John Lennon with Yoko Ono, and side 2 with Paul McCartney, and hang on, side 3, although it's labelled side 1 here, again apologies to George Harrison, and side 4 as Ringo. Okay, that is that one. Also amongst my unofficial collection is this infamous unofficial release, The Beatles Live at the Star Club in Hamburg, 1962. Many copies of this have known to exist over the years. Might as well show a brief look at the inside. What label is this on? Hang on, we just... Don't mind me, I'm just trying to pull stuff out. It's very difficult to do with cold hands, although we're in the last month of winter here in Australia, so for all those sweating in the Northern Hemisphere, we're freezing down here in Australia. Anyway, Interfusion label. This is the first side, and the second side. And okay, so that they do it sides 1 and 4 and sides 2 and 3 like the Love album. That'll show me for not looking properly, I guess. But, you know, this is sides 2 and 3, so I guess the other was 1 and 4. Okay then. Anyway, something a little more on the official side, but is otherwise, I think it's now been replaced with the 8 Days a Week soundtrack, The Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Nice liner notes here from the legendary and now no longer with us George Martin on the B-side. Haven't got around it. Again, I don't intend on playing this, to be honest. As I said, I mostly just collect them. Just generic labels, really. I'm sure you've probably seen them. Side 1 labels, just that. And the track listing is on the side 2 label. Okay. Last thing now. Bit heavy, this one. The Beatles Liverpool box. Oh, this is very heavy. From 1980. Oh, that is heavy. Oh. Either that or I'm just weak as all hell. Hang on. Oh, that's a bit better. Got the track listings here and stuff. Oh, too many records. I'm not going to pull out every single record here. I'm just going to show you just a brief look at it. That's all I'm going to show, because that is very heavy. Alright, that will do for now. Thank you very much for looking at this video. You know what to do now. If you are new to the channel, please press the subscribe button. After that, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Unless you're going to leave something nasty, then that will be deleted. So, until next time, this is the Dogger saying have a great day, everybody. Weekend coming up soon. Make sure to stay safe, especially with COVID-19 going crazy as always. And we shall see you again.